Welcome, friends. Today we have accidentally started the stream too early. Oh dear. So you will have to excuse me for a couple of minutes while I do some shit I need to do. Please bear with me. First of all, I would like to put some clothes on. Not too many clothes though. It's fucking warm in here. You bitch you. Ugh. Good grief. What a day. What a bye. Right. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Well, now the stream can begin. Sorry, friends. I pressed the button too early there. I should really just be pressing it now, but here we are. Oh dear. Right. There we go. What is happening, my G's? How are we? I'm just going to get the light. I have good news and I have bad news, friends. I'll wait until some more people are in here and then I will tell you all what is going on. Oh dear, it's not good news at all. The bad news isn't good news. The good news is good news, but the bad news is bad news, unfortunately. Oh! Excuse me. My tongue's still not sound. If you're interested in such things as the health of my tongue. But no problem. After stream. Sorry, I'm getting requests. So yes, sorry, I'm still pulling my finger out my fucking bum while I sort myself out. Where am I? Your channel, live stream. 18 watching. So, hello Michael Harness, hello Dev, hello Benji, Pradeep, Saab. Dev is wearing Dunhill Edition. I'm not a fan of that. There's fucking hardly any Dunhills that I care for. You know what I mean? I like the really old one. That's about it. I'm waiting for the delivery guy with a new bottle of Jardin Nocturne by Shalini to be my scent of the day, says Alan. DJ, hello. Welcome, Pep. How are you? How was Wednesday? Good day, Rich. Is that rain? No, it's not. It's the fan. It's warming up here and I am very much a low temperature duck. Alright? I fly north for the winter. You know what I'm saying? I can't be dealing with heat. So, any sign of the sun, right, the fan goes on. Last year was appalling. It hit 40 Celsius. That fan ran for about a week straight, if not longer. I have my air conditioning unit handy this year. Absolutely I do. I'll be dealing with that shit. Spaced Out says, I got a new thing to hate on. Laundry musks. So boring to wear. I regret it every single time. What, laundry? Pradeep is killing Indiana Jones. Excuse me. Just making sure that Harrison Ford is still with us. Yes, it doesn't appear that Indiana Jones has actually perished. Pradeep's just causing havoc. Oh, the movie bombed, I see. Spaced Out is wearing Amber Absolute. MJ says his scent of the day is Ganymede, and he's also trying a Skal and Haiti, which is fabulous. You can expect to see that again soon. I'll be rotating my fragrances in about a week's time. Is it? Well, probably a week tomorrow. Next Monday is another fucking bank holiday, you know. I'm fucking sick. Paolo, welcome. Alexander, how are you? Yes, Erin, that's right. Harrison is still alive. Pradip causing heart attacks. Dev says, this Hindi oud nasha is head scratching, like it stinks a little, but it's also multifaceted with these small glimpses into other fragrances that don't exist. DJ says, you know what would be sick? My Ambra Supreme being gone. Anyone in the UK wants to buy an Ambra Supreme, please let DJ know. He's selling one for about 110 quid. Oh, excuse me whilst I hydrate. So yes, friends. Sorry, I'm just pouring myself a beverage there. I do have good news and bad news. I'll tell you the good news first. The good news is that I have been invited by Rachel Ng to jump on and be a regular guest on her podcast that she is starting. How fun! Yes, that's right. Rachel is going to be starting a podcast soon. And today she asked me if I would like to join her. And I very much would like to join her. She is good people. And that is an exciting development. I'm sure you agree. We all want there to be better content in the fragrance community, and I am sure that this will be. It will be thoughtful discussion for an hour or two, I imagine. Or however long she wants it. And we will discuss, we'll ease into it before we get into like different, we'll ease into it before we get into different like topics and stuff like that. But Rachel's currently, well, I won't say what she's currently up to because it's not for me to say. But she is getting educated at the minute. She's taking a course. A course is a course, of course, of course. A course is a course of horse. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, I'm just fannying about with my dial. Oh, that's so good. Honda Grey. It's a fabulous scent. Rich, have you watched my Azaro Pour On video? No. Not yet. On the Tube says Praddy, possibly. I'm not sure where she's going to upload it. That's up to her. It's definitely her podcast. I just said that I would provide some colourful feathers to the proceedings, really. I don't know what else her ideas are for the rest of the podcast, but I'm looking forward to it. So I will let you know when that happens. That will be fun. I imagine that will be exciting. It will be new and fresh, and as we know, everything that is new and fresh is worth more than stuff that has gone before. If Fragcom has taught us anything, it's that. Oof. Excuse me. I will get to the bad news in a bit, because it is actually quite bad news. It's not health related or anything like that, so it's not actually that bad. But in fragrance terms, it's pretty awful. So don't worry, nobody's fucking like actually in any peril whatsoever. We will... What was that? That fucking store we bought from. Zdravko. Zdravo. Not Zdravko. You should do one of the first impression series on Sultan Pasha or Tars, Rich. I have got fucking first impressions videos coming out my fucking arse at the minute. It's ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. The amount of fucking samples I've got lurking about, insane. Good evening, Rich and chat. Juro, Dusan, Alan. How about the Labo impressions? No. How about no? Shite. How's them for first impressions? The bad news, Duck is making a fragrance with George Zaharoff. The Duck is not making a fragrance with anyone. If I was going to do it, I would probably like to do it the way Eugene did it. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. Hello, Dusan. Oh dear, sorry I'm distracted. I was going to wait for more people to turn up before I told you the bad news, but it looks like nobody else is coming. So, you will have seen a video that I did yesterday called The Biblical Haul. It was a haul of biblical proportions, friends. It was a haul of epic and biblical proportions. There were some fragrances in there that I thought I would never actually get to own. Including 5 Serge Lutons, a couple of which I already own, like Rousse and Miel Dubois. There was a Cuir Moresque and a Fumerie Turk, but they were in the old. Bottles, and there was also a Chypre Rouge. There were some samples from my friend in the Middle East who sent me the perfumes, which was extremely welcome. And there was, of course, a bottle of Creed's Green Valley. A unicorn. A unicorn. Absolutely. A fragrance I have wanted for years. And I'd finally found it. And at a kind of reasonable price. I mean, reasonable. Compared to some of the other prices online, it was ridiculous. Yesterday I did sprayed the Green Valley. It was the only one I opened, and it was absolutely beautiful. The bad news is about 5 to 10 minutes after the video finished, it wasn't absolutely beautiful anymore. In fact, it had turned. The Green Valley that I had wanted and chased and desired, and which smelled so nice when I initially sprayed it, has turned. I've got a little bit of insight here. It has turned in the same way that a couple of other vintage creeds I've had have turned. Exactly the same smell. Exactly the same smell. And it's a material I think they use to make a fragrance smell a little fruity. Because in Silver Mountain Water there is also a blackcurrant note, and there is in Green Valley, right? And it had the exact same smell from these two separate bottles, which came from a very similar time frame, right? The two bottles, I don't know exactly when they were from. I think the Silver Mountain Water was about 2002 bottle, and I think this one's similar. And the material they've used to make that fruitiness, to make that black currant note, right, is obviously very, 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 very difficult and volatile to work with. And it's the second time I've had a creed fragrance off. It's not batch variations. It ain't batch variations, it's reformulation. They reformulate their fragrances to make them cheaper over time, to increase. When they get a popular one, they don't reformulate it. They don't have batch variations, it's reformulations. So let's just get that fucking out there. So yes, unfortunately my Green Valley is going back. The guy's giving us a refund. He's lovely. The guy's absolutely fucking lovely bloke. Like, I knew this before I dealt, like, not before I dealt with him, but before I fucking had all of this going on. I knew this was like, I knew he was sound as fuck. But it's upsetting because it's a fragrance that I've always wanted. I don't think it's the way that it's being kept. I don't think it's anything he's done. I don't think it's anything I've done. I don't think it's anything the shipping company's done. I think it's creed. I think it's this particular material, because it's not the first time it's happened, and it's the same smell, right? It's exactly the same off smell in both different bottles, which have both got the same note, right? So it's creed. And it's a 20-year-old fragrance. At that point, they don't owe anyone anything. It's just one of those fucking things. You know? It's just one of those fucking things that has happened. And it was not a good day for it to happen, because yesterday I had to pay a fucking another bill for my car, which had been in the garage. I woke up that morning to a phone call from the garage saying I needed not just a new exhaust, because my exhaust fell off last week on my car, but I also needed a couple of new wishbones, and that added a couple of £100 to the bill, which I could have done without, very, very much so. But that's what happened. Upsetting. Upsetting, friends. Very upsetting. So, yes. Yesterday was a bad day. And then Newcastle qualified for the Champions League, so that was good. I went to bed happy at least. But I could have done without the preceding fucking 12 hours, to be honest with you. I could have done without that big style. But these things are sent to test us. And I was tested, and it was upsetting. I won't lie. But I'm getting that money back, so the guy was brilliant. Vintage creeds are a dangerous buy, Paroli. There's just nothing that can be done. Pretty upsetting, but there we go. One of the things with vintages you're going to have to expect there will be duds ranging from partial duds to major duds. Absolutely. You've just got to sort of take it on the chin, you know. And Chanel from the 60s is still in good shape. It is in good shape. Some are anyway. Some of them aren't. You got to remember aldehydes can go fucking walkabout, you know. There are a lot of people that lie to themselves about the state of their fragrances are in. Yes. Fosco is wearing Louis by the Zoo. How is it? I wasn't impressed with the Zoo ones that I smelled. Everlasting's quite popular. These are my Anas Warinkinas that I tried today. Unimpressed. Unimpressed. For the money, I want to fuck's sake more. You're charging £130 for 15 mils. I want more. Apparently this has a ton of real orris, 1.2%. I don't know if that is a ton of real orris or if it's not a ton of real orris. Is she related to Arige? No. She's from Slovakia, I think. Or that's where she ships from. Or that's where she's registered. I sprayed this honey and tar on skin, and for me, it was a bit shit to begin with. But it's certainly, it's overpriced. The Zoo didn't impress me, says DJ. It didn't impress me either. Mitch, Spaced Out says, Mitch, let's be real. You already discovered the best stuff. All this other stuff is overpriced and overhyped. Well, I'm hoping that's not true, but I'm starting to feel like it is. I'm starting to feel like there's nothing else out there for us. You know? That's what it's starting to feel like. That's why I keep doing these first impressions videos. These first impressions series are me trying to find new fragrances to own. That's what they are. You know? I am scouring the niche, indie, and fucking, what's the other one? Vintage markets, niche, indie, especially, both of them, trying to find new perfumes to buy. And frankly, so far, I'm not really coming up with many winners, like, you know? I can't think of anything that's leapt out at us over the last, what? Yeah? Since I've started doing all of these, apart from the Dusita, which I thought was like Oud Palau, but better. I had really high hopes for Parfum d'Empire. I had Montre, Labs. Well, yes, Montre and Labs, but if you take that in consideration of, if you take that into consideration of how many I've tried compared to how many I've bought, I'll tell you something. I tried the new Healy Cologne MXXX. That's a good call as well. Keep going, keep going. You're cheering us up. The new Healy Cologne, I forget what it's called, is actually very nice. But do I want to fucking pay that kind of money for it? It smells like Sport de Paco Rabanne, which is no bad thing. It's no bad thing at all. Give me one moment while I try and find it. Oh, you're not getting a grip on there, are you? Cologne Aficionale. That's what it's called. Well done, Dev. There it is. Whoa. Healy Parfums Cologne Aficionale. Sample provided by Essenza Nobile. It's fucking very, very, very nice. Like, it's a good nice, not a shit nice. It's a good nice perfume, you know? George's video was good, but he slightly misdiagnosed Eau de Jerks. I say this as a frequent browser of Eau de Jerks. I haven't watched it yet. Mitch says, Mitch, I had a shitty week. Don't you ignore me now. Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme Shiseido made in France batch code 203219. Hello, Fill Your Boots. Hello, Enrique. Fill Your Boots says, wearing Geranium pour Monsieur. By the way, have you seen the Fragrance Apprentice's latest video on fragrance addiction? That guy makes a brilliant documentary. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to. I need like a free hour or something. I didn't like the zoo at first, but I always come back to things and my mind changes all the time. I couldn't watch the video yesterday because the football was on. Love PDE. What's PDE? George's new video was okay, but there is a point at 20 minutes in he mentions a rule of 72 perfume, and he fails to mention that he had been sent a bottle from the brand like many others on YouTube, says Ali Boy. So new Healy sounds interesting. What would you compare the new Healy to? It's like... So it's a little bit like Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver crossed with Paco Rabanne, Sport de Paco Rabanne. Oh, Parfum d'Empire, sorry. Another thing about the video is his thesis on the algorithm is flawed because individuals cannot just play by the algorithm. Rob Zawait is doing his own thing and we love him for it, but he's not getting 25,000 views per video. We love him for it. There's a few hundred people love him for it, but he's not getting 25,000, 30,000, 50,000 as much as I think he deserves it for his videos. He used to. The algorithm has changed from under our feet. You might love my channel. In fact, I dare say that the people in here watching, most of you, will love the channel. Bless yous and thank you, and I appreciate it. I really do. But I have never, ever, ever got anywhere near 25,000, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 views on a video. I'm not even going to get near those in subscribers because I don't play to the algorithm. You know what I mean? I don't want to. I want to make the type of content that I want to make. Granted, I would like it to be a little bit better, probably. You know, have like, I'm not going to start fucking editing because simply I cannot be bothered. I don't have the fucking time nor the inclination. You know what I mean? That is the type of shit I would delegate to other people. And if other people want to watch my videos, I appreciate it, and I will be forever appreciative, forever shocked that some people fucking actually want to watch my videos. I don't think I'll ever lose that. The fact that people want to watch and listen to my fucking thoughts about Perfume. It's fantastic. I love it. But the good thing about making videos that you want to make is that it attracts people who you want to talk to. It attracts people that like-minded people. I definitely do this for the love. I don't do this out of some kind of fucking financial incentive. I don't do this out of some kind of quest for clout. I don't do this out of anything other than I have fucking got thoughts and will speak. You know? All the rest of it takes care of itself. The sort of, not drama, what am I looking for? The brash way that I am is just the way that I am. Richie G, Rachel, my friend who watches, who doesn't comment, these, like, people who know us in real life will tell you I'm exactly the same on camera as I am off camera. It's just, so when I fall out with people, it's because I think they've done something outrageous, you know, or they've done something that deserves us to fall out with them. I don't want people who I don't like hanging around us, you know, so I tend to be rid. And just, I don't know. I'm not trying to signal anything here. I'm not trying to, like, say, do this or do that. I just do. You know? I just be the way I am, and then everything else takes care of itself. Yeah, says Pep. Yay. Talk about what you want to talk about. Don't talk about what... It's sorely lack, and that's all this community used to be. Pep's been around for long enough. He'll remember those days. People just used to talk about what they wanted to talk about, and then people started turning to gimmicks and started fucking trying to get clout and pretend they're something they're not, and fucking it's all front and bullshit. But I am just going to do what I want to do. because I can't be asked to do anything else. Rich, someone you know could probably edit your videos for free? No. Then it wouldn't be me. Someone could recommend some big bitter greens, no vintage, says DJ. Unfortunately, I'm allergic to Vanille Havana and Mousse de Sable, my two favourites from the brand, says Carnival Tribute. Oh no, that is extremely unfortunate. Fougère Noir is very bitter to me. 100%, says Pep. Simple fact is you can't like everyone, says Pep. Yes. And you can't get everyone to like you, which is just as valid a point. And there are some people who will lie and betray themselves to get other people to like them. And I'm constitutionally fucking, I'm incapable of doing that. I can't do that. I don't know how you get to adulthood with that attitude. That is not how adult humans should be behaving. Hello, the Scent Reaper. How are you? I'm alright. How are you? Greetings, friends. Greetings, Tripler. I'm trying to bring a talk about whatever the fuck I want energy to this, whatever gets the views world. Yes. Doug has more female viewers than any male reviewer, says Pradeep. I do have some, but not a lot. Yes, Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme is once again worthy cheapie, says Scent of the Day. Yeah, I've heard the latest versions aren't bad. Right now, people just want to have their opinions confirmed, or as there is completely insecure and incapable of thinking for themselves, says DJ. Absolutely. People just want to be told, patted on the head and told that they've got good taste. You bought this fragrance? Well done, you. Good for you. You know what you're talking about. You're clever. You're switched on. Nothing gets past you. Well done. You smell good as well. You know? You don't have shit taste. You know what you're talking about. We can be friends. Oh. Tripler confirms DJ's opinion. The whole concept of influencers blows my mind. I understand it. I just don't necessarily like it. I mean, that's the thing with the internet, isn't it? It's democratized everything, which is a good and bad thing. You know? Scent Reaper says I'm good. Wore Dior on 2011 today. Every time I wear it now, the more I come to dislike it. I pick up more and more on that sour note it has with every wear. How strange. Tested Dior Riviera. People are already selling their gifted bottles online. Ooh. I imagine it's going to smell like Dune Pour Homme. That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be Dune Pour Homme. Maybe it's a little bit less fizzy, with a bit more florals, and it's going to be in a one of them fucking bottles for the Privé line. I've got many bottles of Dune Pour Homme, thank fuck. Human adverts whose only purpose is to be cheap advertising for a company. Yeah, have they no fucking ambition? You think you're going to get me to make a video and say and tell lies on video for a bottle of perfume? Or is that what you think of yourself, is it? Have you no ambition? If you wanted me to tell lies, you'd have to spend a fuck's sake more than a bottle of perfume, mate. Jesus Christ. cough is a horror off cough, says the Sentinel. 10 times the price. Yeah, exactly. It's a bottle of Dieu Pour Homme. Dieu Pour Homme for 10 times the fucking price. It's obscene. And Dieu Pour Homme's fucking fantastic anyway. You'll be seeing that coming soon, because I'm gonna bring the summer fragrances to the front soon and put the spring fragrances more towards the back. This doesn't include my creeds. Wounded about that fucking creed, like. Very upsetting. Enrique says, how did you get Green Valley? Outrageous. Bought it from somebody I met on the internet from Kuwait. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out. For the people who weren't in here before, 10 minutes after I finished that video, Green Valley deteriorated on my skin, and I realised it had the same material that was in Silver Mountain water that went off in that bottle that I had. And I sent it back. Could have sold it for a profit. No, can't do that. Had to go back. Well, there we are. That's life. Evening, Rich and the chat. Rich, what are those samples you've got there? From an interesting brand called Anna Zwarinkina. There you go, Anna Zwarinkina. A little bit of a... I wouldn't say that's marketing, is it? I did a video on these today. The Anna Zwarinkina, the 4 that you see here. Silver Lavender, Current Mood, Wind from Mount Kailash, and Honey and Tar. For £130 for 15 mil. No. 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 Not having that. Not so far anyway. Too expensive. All natural brand apparently. Well, good for you. I'm happy for you. Unshaved pubic hair is all natural. I'm not interested in that either. Certainly not paying £130 for 15 mil either. Do you know what I mean? Christ. Behave. It's just too much. Craftsmanship, not really. I mean, they're not badly made like some of the Indian niche houses I've smelled so far, but they're not well made either. It's not professional. It's not professional at all. The materials, they're good. They are good so far. But they're not that good. Like I said in the video, if you charge extraordinary prices, I will hold you to an extraordinary standard. Did the same thing with Strangelove. Strangelove were blended fucking magnificently. They were gloriously made, fabulously made. Absolutely worth nowhere near what they're fucking charging. None of them. I really liked Melt My Heart. I thought Melt My Heart was gorgeous. Is it worth £800 for 100 mil? Fuck off. Fuck off. I'm not buying that out of fucking spite. I'm not buying that out of fucking on principle. It's disgusting. How is it that Creed is super expensive but the materials are not of good quality? It's called greed, mate. Kuwait is hot as hell. Maybe that added to the deterioration. It's hot as hell, but I imagine they were kept inside. And all their houses will be air conditioned. Absolutely, they'll be air conditioned. Hello, Rich, says Pat Lester. Hello, Pat Lester. Scent of the day, Synthetic Jungle. Through the opening note is a little harsh, dry down, blends very well and becomes more easy to wear. Not a fan of Synthetic Jungle. Don't like white florals, and I get a lot of white florals from Synthetic Jungle. Tripler says, could at least come in a set of nesting dolls. Nesting dolls that have become self-aware. Come inside, just come inside like some kind of fucking AI nested doll. You know what I mean? Same, Rich, ridiculous. Yeah, I'm not buying them out of spite. It's like, I'm not fucking buying them just because. You can't fucking charge that kind of money because Helena Christensen deigned to have a name associated with it. I'm talking about Strangelove here, not Anna Zwirinka. Creed entire brand image was being one of the big boys who have taste owning this. Yeah, they've become a chav brand now. They've become a brand where, like, little cokehead scroats fucking caked in fucking Montclair and fucking... What's the other things? The big Burberry and all that shit. That's, like, the type of shit they wear. Ooh. Somebody has reduced the price of their Jeu de Peau. Nice. I like Jeu de Peau. It's like an ambery wheat fragrance. What's kerosene fragrances like? Any good? Yes. Actually. Doesn't get enough hype. If he'd started his brand now instead of 10 years ago, he'd be massive. Bless him. John Pegg was a reviewer. But yes, kerosene, good. I've got follow, and I want to smell followed. There's a couple of them that are quite hard to enjoy because they're not to my taste, but they're still well made. He's definitely one of the best indie self-taught perfumers there is. Absolutely. Creed always was cringe. They started with bullshit history and stories, and now they're a chav brand of Rolf. I was on the Titanic. Yeah, that's right. Fucker. The lying shit. I'm going to the bathroom to dehydrate. Follow is still the best coffee scent I've smelled. Yeah, I can't think of a better coffee fragrance. What's Unknown Pleasures like? Have you tried it, Rich? Yes. And I can't remember. I'll be back in a second. Oof. Dear me. I have bought this this mouthwash which stops your mouth from getting dry, and I think it could be a huge innovation, or a changing of the fucking guard in my life. I could certainly spend a lot less money on water. Christy says, I have followed it as truly nuclear. I'd love to try it. I think it's at Rulia White in London. DJ, it's called Biontine, I want to say. Biontine. I'll send you a picture when I'm finished the stream. Reminders on, mate. Even then, is there anyone? Most indie brands are shite. Most indie brands are shite, if we're being perfectly honest with you. You might, tell you what, right, you might like them. You might buy into the aesthetic. You may be willing to overlook certain things, and that's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know, you may want to support a mate. You may want to say, you may want to you may just like the way they do things. But if we're being honest, they cannot hold a candle to professional perfumers, and that's to be expected, right? But not just that. I would go a step further in saying that 95% of their work is shit. I'm not naming any names because I don't want to shit on anyone particular, because these people aren't what's wrong with the industry. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Tower hasn't made a good perfume in years, says DJ. I think Tower's extremely good. But I haven't smelled anything in years that I would have bought off them. I've got Lone Star Memories, which is fucking immense. I think I like Lone Star Memories more than I like Lady Desert, but I could be wrong. Put it like this, right? Those two fragrances are fucking astonishingly good, right? The fact they're made by an Indian self-taught perfumer is ridiculous. It's almost unfeasible, right? I remember where I was the first time I smelled Lady Desert Marrakein. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of fucking moment. Bonkers. Like the same way I remember where I was the first time I smelled Queer by Mona Diorio. Fucking goodness me. Tell you what, for all the influencers, there's a video for you. Top 10 fragrances I remember where I was when I first smelled them. There you go, lads and lasses. Knock yourselves out. What a waste of time. Anyway. Nothing outside the legends. Everything has been terrible in my opinion, or he's discontinued. No more dry mouth throats. Plug it to me, Mitch. Rulia White is very unreliable when it comes to perfume stock. Yes, absolutely, you are right. Ambra Sultan. Yeah, Ambra Sultan. I remember where I was the first time I smelled that as well. That literally changed all sorts for me. Like, literally, that was like stepping into like... That was like living in a small house your entire life, and then one day just opening the door and walking outside. It was that. It was fucking mental. So it's Follow straight up coffee? No. It's got this. It's not just straight up coffee, but yes and no. Fucking hell. Right? It's got coffee, believe it or not, but it's also an amber, but it's got a little bit, I don't know if it's because I associate it with coffee, but I get this slightly creamy vibe from it. Bilbo Fraggins, what's happening? How are you? I get this creamy vibe, like coffee with cream, do you know what I mean? But I don't know if that's because I associate cream with coffee or whether it's a fucking note in the perfume. Do you know what I'm saying? Somebody left a comment on my channel today saying that they had got the Euro Italia version of Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme. And I was like, well done, congratulations, I am fucking delighted for you. And they were like, Mitch, do you think there's like that aquatic note in Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme? Like that aquatic, do you think it's an aquatic? Has it got an aquatic note? And I was like, no, but I know exactly what you're saying. And the reason I say no is because Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme came out in 1994 at the same year as Issey Miyake L'Odyssée, and a couple of years before Aqua di Gio, and then the explosion, you know? What you are smelling there is not the aquatic note. You are smelling notes that are so closely associated with the aquatic note that when you smell them, you also smell it's like putting your left foot in front of your right foot to walk. You know what I mean? It's like you're taking that next step without even realizing it. There isn't a cologne note. Cologne might be in it, but there isn't a cologne note. There isn't that aquatic note in Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme. It's our sort of like leaning in. You know, it's like you're expecting it to come because the materials used in Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme were also used in other fragrances around that time, which were huge aquatic fragrances. Do you know what it is? I'm going to go and use some of that mouthwash because my mouth dry as all fuck. Give us a second. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my tablets. And then I'm going to go into it. One moment, please. Oh dear, that was minty. Minty's probably the best way of putting it. That was distinctly minty. Anyway, somebody mentioned Follow before, and I've just remembered because Fosco's mentioned Tuscan leather. Follow for me has a touch of that ashy, not metallic, but like raw Tuscan leathery kind of vibe to it in the dry down. Can get a bit harsh. You know? Yeah, I can't stand Mandala either. I thought it was massively overrated. I have Biantine spray and lozenges. Look out for the lozenges. They're even better. I'm going to ask to get them on prescription. Like, I didn't even know this was a thing until I was in the fucking... I was in the butcher's. I was in the pharmacy the other day. And I was just, like, browsing the shelves. And it was like, oh, this mouthwash is... stops your mouth from getting dry. I was like, you what, mate? How much money I'd save on water rates. Had a sniff of Luton's Duce Amirich. Have a shot at it for a good price. Is that the almond one? Splinter 47 says, I'm waiting for Roadster in the mail, Rich, per your recommendation. Oh, fabulous. I'm fucking surprised you could find it, really, because it's not an easy fucking... It's not easy to find now. Considering how many bottles were made of it. There it is. Look how much of a dent I've put in that. Speaks for itself, doesn't it? I fucking love this stuff. The mint. The mint. The bergamot. And the vetiver combined to make the green in this like an apple skin. Not a sour, pungent apple, but a little bit appley. And it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I fucking love that. I might wear this tomorrow. And then in the dry down, you get this patchouli, slightly vanillic type thing. Makes it smell like minty ice cream. It's great for the late spring and summer. It's fabulous. Technology and good synthetics available to professional perfumers really shows... I mean, you say that, right? But like 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago, they didn't have the technology and the good synthetics, you know? They didn't have that then, and the perfumes were 10 times what they're releasing today. Even modern designers. Modern designers are a fucking write-off. There hasn't been a good designer fragrance released in years. The last one I would say that I really enjoyed... And I'm not necessarily saying this is anywhere near up there with like the great designers of all time. But it's Gucci Guilty Absolute. I can't think of another one that's like worth anybody's time. All they do is put out now. All they do is put their money into the private lines where they can charge you 300, 400, 500 quid a bottle. And even then, they're shit. I think that the Louis Vuitton private line is crap. It's rubbish. I know people talk about Ombre Nomad, Nuit de Feu. You smell them up against designers that were coming out in the 80s, and they're just not. They're just not. Like I might be betraying. I am betraying my own taste here, though. You know, I want fragrances that, like, that's when my taste is, like, from. That's mostly my taste. Very rare I find perfumes these days that tickle my fancy. Float my boat, whatever you want to say. So I've got to put out there that I think 80s fragrances are like my favorite type of fragrances. The style, the blending, the materials, all that shit. Everything came together, you know. So I should make that like as like a vested sort of admission that that's where my interest lays. But I refuse to be fucking patronized and told that today's fragrances are worth like anything like what people are fucking asking for, you know. If you look, even if you look on discounters now, discounters are on their arse. Discounters are on their way out. Right? Chanel broke their back in America when they got rid of Notino, you know. And ever since then, all the other companies have been doing similar things, just making it harder, strangling their production and their supply chains as far as distribution, that's what I mean, strangling their distribution chains to the point where the discounters can't get a hold of anything anymore, you know? It's a fucking menace. Just to recap, friends, for the people in here, I see there are 43 people watching now. I bought a bottle of Green Valley and unboxed it yesterday, and it was fucking magnificent for 10 minutes. And then after that, it was off, and I'm sending it back now. A certain material in there, which I have also smelled go off in a couple of other creeds, has facilitated or precipitated me into having to send it back. Can't keep it. And rather than sell it and pass it on to someone else and make some fucking money and rob somebody, basically I've thought, fuck it. I did actually put it on eBay for a while, if you want the God's honest truth. I thought somebody else might not notice, might not care. And then after about 10 minutes I was like, no, I can't do that. Not wanting to sound like an angel, because I'm not an angel. But I couldn't hack it now. Somebody else might not notice, somebody else might really appreciate it, you know? And that's not to say that any other bottles of Green Valley on the internet are off, you know? They don't all have to be, but unfortunately this one is. And it's sad. But there we have it. I enjoyed mint fragrances like Geranium Pour Monsieur and L'Anarchiste by Caron. I want to try this L'Anarchiste. I'm sure I've seen it before. I'm sure Anouge had a vintage. Fucking Anouge. I've just remembered. Fuck. I need to get in touch with Anouge. Shit. I've just dropped my phone on the floor. Oh! Here we go. Friends, if liking streams is the type of thing that interests you, please do not let me stop you from liking this stream. This stream is there for the liking, if you are in that way inclined. And even if you aren't, don't let that stop you either. The liking of this stream is something you may wish to consider. If I had to wear a random designer exclusive, a random indie, it would be the former every time. There are good ones in both camps, but far fewer good indies. Yeah, it's true about indie perfumers. They are very good few perfumes, and the rest are horrible, says Pat. Yep. Followed is black coffee and maple syrup. It's probably too sweet for you, Rich. I don't know. Every once in a while, I like a sweet fragrance, you know. Still baffled, surprised myself by the fact that I like that Lamar L'Essence Parfum. Just goes to show, you know what I mean? Just goes to show. We've all got one of those fragrances that's a complete outlier. I mean, I've said that, right? I've said that. I mean, there's more than one that I've got in this collection that you would think, what the fuck? I just can't fucking lay my eyes on any at the second. But there are definite fragrances that, like, I really like. And I think to myself, this doesn't, like, one of these things is not like the others. You know what I mean? What are some of the worst fragrances people have smelled? Not brands, but individual fragrances, says Fosco. That's a good topic. I personally despise Tuscan leather more than anything, says Fosco. A recent awful smell for me was Mask Milano's Mandela. I can't stand it. Say what you like about Tom Ford, but is there a younger brand with as many hits and modern classics? He went through a fucking purple patch for about 7 or 8 years there, didn't he? He really did. That's a very good point, like. Carnival tribute. Carnivale. Sorry, that was absolutely appalling. I apologise to Whitley and everyone therein. Saw Roadster in a pharmacy here in London. Ah! Buy it! I'd have bought that off you, mate. Absolutely, I would. Fabulous fragrance. I remember when it was first discontinued, Galen said to me, nobody needs a backup of Roadster by Cartier. I was like, that's where you're wrong, sunshine. And look where we are now. Bottles of that shit going for 150 quid for 100 mil. Twice what it was at retail. Just goes to show people are fucking mental. I don't buy these things. I don't buy backups and stuff to sell on at a future time, although there may come a time when I will sell them on. I buy them because I don't want to pay the overinflated fucking prices that are inevitably going to come in 3 years or 2 years or 5 years time, when they're going to be so fucking overpriced that I'm not going to be able to get my hands on one of the fucking fragrances that I love. Do you know what I mean? So I buy backups to stop me, to save myself money in the future rather than to make money in the future. I can't stand Serge Noir. It smells acrid. The Sentinel, I hate that one. What was he thinking? Which one? Phthalo Blue by Tower. I don't know that I've smelled that one. I think someone has Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue or Intense confused with the OG. Somebody, I think it was Baratrion, who sent me a decant of light blue something, and it smells like a fish. It hasn't got like rancid fish vibes like fucking Silence the Sea, but it's got fish vibes, you know. It's got like, it smells like fresh fish. It's not ideal. You know what I mean? Carnival Tribute, it's not younger than Tom Ford, but it is a younger brand in terms of perfume division. I say Comme des Garçons, says Dev. This Hindi Oud Nasher is coming off very pleasant now, still a bit decomposing, but overall super polite. Beau de Jour in the signature line is good, Rich. I tend to disagree. Beau de Jour in the signature line has a filthy great amber wood note in it to make up for that fucking patchouli thing. Whatever the corners they cut when changing it from the private blend to the signature line, right? They prioritized some notes and they fucking disregarded others. All right? And they put an amber wood in there and they fucking spoiled it. Honestly, same for Costa Zero. I'm partial to salty fragrances. Does Carolina for men resemble Dolce & Gabbana? No. No, it doesn't. Oh, shit. Sorry for that. I'll see you in for a little frisk there. You got to see my ceiling. Hope nobody got fucking motion sick. I imagine that's a problem. Anyway, here's Carolina for men. Steady. All right, there's a little bit of a similarity there, mate. I'll give you that. Yes, you're right. There is a little bit of a similarity. It's not huge, but it's not massive. It's not massive, but it is there. I don't know what it is. Get back here. Is there a lavender in there? It's different. It's different. But there's something in there. That's an older bottle as well. That's like a pre. It's actually quite an old fragrance, that, you know. But that's a pre. Like a pre-2000s bottle, not. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. Private lines were good at the beginning. Really interesting releases back in the early to mid 2000s. Yeah. Bodajura is amazing, says Paroli. I wore Lomedy Livestream yesterday and really enjoyed it. Never thought I would dig Plum. Ooh, Plum's lovely. Feminité Dubois is one of the best perfumes I've got. One that gets quite a lot of likes lately, and I really don't like, is Patchouli Magnetic, and it's nuclear. The scrubbing doesn't help, says Juro. I really like it. I can understand why it's a bit much for you. I'll tell you one of the fragrances from that line that I didn't like, from that house, sorry. Pardon me. Iris Malacan. Iris Malacan was fucking lamentable. It was awful. Oh, it was like, I'll tell you what it was like. Do you know Sultan Vetiver by Nishane? Beautiful for half an hour. And then the amber wood kicked in. And that was it. Just out like a light. Get out of my house. Wore it a couple of times. Nah. White noise in smell form. Oh, welcome Anoush. I was just mentioning Anoush before. I need to get in touch with Anoush. My favourite decades in terms of perfume style was probably the 20s or the 40s, really any decade where the fragrances were built very austerely. See, I don't think that perfumes from the 20s were built austerely. I think, if anything, they're more opulent. I was about to say the Gucci as well, says Pep. Is your Roadster vintage? I mean, I don't think it ever had a reformulation. I mean, it only came out in 2008. You know what I mean? Rich confirmed drink Wicked and Smirnoff Ice. You like music for a while? I do like music for a while. Agree, Kryptonite and Plastic Peaches. Fruity drink. I hate the label designer because most niche brands are releasing designer fragrances. Yeah. Hello, Omar. Dolce & Gabbana catch of the day. All the D&G light blues are Aquatics Ocean fishy vibes. Yep. Ducker Lunch. Lamal Essence Parfum has similarities to CH Men Privé. CH Men Privé. CH Men Privé. I sold that. Sold my CH Men Privé. Had a 150ml bottle. Opening was beautiful. Fucking dry down was shite. Fell apart in the dry down, as Galen would say. It's taken a while to come down from the excitement of seeing Richard's ceiling. Are you still on the ceiling? Sorry, that was appalling. Anuj, welcome. Rachel, welcome. Rachel, I have told everyone about the podcast. That's right, there are more people in here now. So Rachel is doing her own podcast. She has, it's going to be called Some Sense. Is it going to be called Some Sense? I think it's going to be called Some Smell. Some Smell, Some Sense. And she has invited me on to be a regular guest, which I was very honoured. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. Crivelli is stuck near me. The founder even dropped by, but I've avoided it. Skeptical. I like Patchouli Magnetic. It's creamy. It's peach. It's a bit weird. It's vanillic. It's nice, I think. Some Sense, that's it. I can understand why other people wouldn't like it. Do you like Duc de Vervain's L'Extrême by Hubegond? I don't like Duc de Vervain's. I don't like Duc de Vervain's, which is an outrageous statement. I beg your pardon. Excuse me whilst I hydrate, I should say. No, I just don't like it, you know. Popping in for another 10 minutes before my after-school club begins, says Rachel. Please kick back and enjoy. I always wanted to do a podcast. I've talked to Rachel about this for ages. A couple of years ago, I tried to get Galen to do one for me, him, Thomas, and Eugene, but couldn't convince him. He didn't want to do it. There was just many reasons why. But I've always thought a fragrance podcast was a good idea. Yes, Rachel, we shall announce when the first episode drops. I will I will pull strings, and I will cajole and flat out bully and threaten people to listen and to to advertise for us. Totally, amber wood is being used too much. Maybe because it's strong and it lasts, but a lot of people look for that in perfumery. Amber wood. Right, Rachel, look forward to hearing your podcast. Says not in the note. Floral notes is here. Smelling perfume with a sommelier. Do it, Rich. I loves a podcast, says Peter. Peter lurking in the shadows there. How are you, Peter? Peter making me jealous today when he texted us and said, I had a nice nap today. I was like, you swine. I was like, yeah, I want that nap. Alan says, how about naming your podcast Rachel Rates Aromas? That's good. Rachel and Richard Rate Aromas. Woof. Alan, that's a great name too. Too late though. My face is too handsome to appear on an audio-only podcast, says Dev. Wearing Louis by the zoo today, Rachel, made me think of you as our resident Laudermiel expert. Best Perfume Podcast winner, Rachel, featuring Best Perfume Streamer, Duck. That's right, sent Streamer of the Year, according to Juan from Fatboy Fragrance, which I still appreciate. I actually watched some of Juan's videos. He talks about things that I don't like, which, I mean, when I say he talks about things I don't like, I don't sit there fuming, do you know what I mean? I don't sit there being like, Urgh! Juan! So you get like a voodoo doll of him or something like that. He talks about stuff that I, like isn't for me, you know, like clones and stuff like that. It's interesting to keep your sort of your hand in to like expand your knowledge of things that you don't like. See what's happening out there. So I like watching Juan's videos actually. He fucking streams at some fucking weird hours of the day for me though. Oh, I mean, they're not weird hours of the day for him, but it's like, often I'll see like, Juan's got a stream planned for 3 a.m. And I'm like, oh, I can't get the replay. You know, I get the replay, mate. Ooh, what's the trouble, Mitch? There is no trouble, boss. If you ever need the perspective of a Gen Z perfume fan on your podcast, Rachel, you need to know who to call. You know who to call. Rachel's getting offers already. Hasn't even started yet. Rachel was shocked to find that... oh, shit. Sorry, I'm just throwing my technology around the room. Rachel was shocked to hear that I don't own a laptop. That is because I am fucking useless with technology. Also, those things are not fucking cheap anymore. You can't pick up bargains anymore. Ponta Bone says, do you like Armani Eau Pour Homme Vintage? Sorry. Do you like Armani Eau Pour Homme Vintage? Yes and no. I like it, but I wouldn't wear it. Derby laptop. Well, I mean, at the minute, it's fucking Green Valley rather than a laptop. You know what I mean? Finally got my package of perfume from FedEx, or rather a neighbour from half a mile away brought it to me just now after being misdelivered. FedEx continues to employ the best and brightest. Rachel, Jesse's good choice. Actually, I'd say you're really great with tech if you can accomplish all this with just your phone. I am simply extremely lazy. Ask Richie G. Richie G will tell you. Before I've figured out fucking eBay, right? Now I'm a menace on eBay. But before I figured it out, I was like, oh, text Richie G. I'd be like, Richie G, buy this for us, man. Find it, go and look for it on eBay. And he'd be like, why can't you fucking look for it on eBay? I'd be like, oh, I can't, man. It's too much. It's too hard. And he'd be like, shut up. Go and fucking do it yourself. I'd be like, no, Why can't you do it? You're like, leave me alone. Rachel says, all right, folks, time to go teach these young'uns chess. Bye-bye. Goodbye, Rachel. What's good, Mitch? Balenciaga Pour Homme's fucking great, mate. Oof. It's starting to get hot now. It's starting to get warm here. The weather is certainly picking up. You know? It's bright. I mean, it's 9:30 at night. I could go outside and read the newspaper if I wanted to. You know? I mean, I remember a couple of years ago talking to Eugene. Okay, I'll check it out. I don't think you will, mate. I mean, if you do find any bottles, let us know and I'll fucking buy them. But yeah. I was on stream with Eugene a couple of years ago. And it was like June, middle of June or something. And I was walking into the house and he was like, what time is it there? I was like, oh, it's like 10:30 at night. And he was like, fucking daylight. Speaking of Eugene, welcome. Lick the stream for Galen. There's Galen here as well. Better not be here. Yeah. Here's an interesting question. I'll be the judge of that, sunshine. What's a perfume in your collection that smells inappropriate? Don't think about the term too hard, just name it. I'm not thinking about the term too hard. I just don't think I've got any that smell inappropriate. Otherwise I wouldn't have bought them. Well, that's the problem, you see. I bought all my fragrances. So I like most of them. That's why hardly any of my reviews are negative. My first impressions might be negative, but of the perfumes that I own, alright, I actually like nearly all of them. Some of them I might change my mind on over time. But most of them I actually like, you know? Like, I'm looking at all of them and I'm thinking, I mean, I didn't like Zing. Or Zonka, I beg your pardon. Didn't like Zonka, that was shit. It was a bad perfume, that. I don't know. I might wear Eau Sauvage EDT tomorrow, depending on what the weather is. I'm going to text my friend. I'm going to ask her if she wants us to take the power washer around tomorrow. So we can clean her like fucking, what's it called? You know, the concrete and stuff. She's had a very dusty time of it recently. Had a bottle of Goutal Nuit Étoilée come in yesterday. Very pleasing pine frag on first go. I am still looking for a bottle of Mur Églantine. Ooh, I know who I should text about that. I'm looking for a bottle of Mur Églantine by Annick Goutal, if anybody knows where to find one. Not the one on Perfume, though, because she wants fucking bank for that. God bless you, Rosie, but I'm not paying that, mate. You can like something that smells inappropriate, I think. Though at this point, I'm thinking too hard about the term. Pine, not usually my thing, says Boz. 1740 is slightly inappropriate. It's the Immortelle somehow. I don't know what to make of the term inappropriate. It's not that I'm thinking. Mur Ardent. Sorry, Mur Eglantine's fucking the Hermes. Sorry, it's Mur Ardent. Yes, Tripler, well said. My girlfriend said I smelled like a grandpa when I wore vintage Eau Sauvage. I think we both know what has to happen to Mrs. Girlfriend. Bone to bone. She's got to go. We can't have that heresy. Surely. I think you got mixed up with the name of the Hermesons there, Rich. You're absolutely spot on, Andrej. That is exactly what I do. I did. I don't like the original Eros because it has that pine-like smell. I don't like the original Eros because of the smell, full stop. It's absolutely awful. Fucking... I know someone who wore that for his wedding day, man. Fucking peasant. Sorry, I didn't mean to say peasant. I meant to say prick. Scent of the day is Cartier Declaration, says Frank. Welcome, Frank. Say, Rich, I don't know if your silence means my question was good or shite. I think it was shite, mate. Sorry. Yeah, Flame is better, definitely. Nah, that's shite now. Just a terrible line, to be honest with you. Can't believe you got Green Valley. Oh my God, says Frank. Well, Frank, I've got bad news, mate. It's off. It smelled fucking fabulous for 10 minutes, and then it didn't, mate. There's a material in there which has gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone off. It's bad. It pains us to say it. I'm very sorry. No, Mitch, you mean peasant. Tef music. I'm not going to argue with you on stream. I don't like the connotation of the word peasant, but I mean, you could do better for your wedding day. I mean, how, man? It's Eros. You're going to smell like all the lads doing the fucking club. Wearing fucking... Is it snobby to say that? I suppose it is. Does it make it any less true? No. Tef Music, welcome to you. I don't believe I've ever seen you before, but thank you for commenting. Yes, Duncan, mate, the Creed is off. Green Valley. I got myself a bottle of the old Green Valley, and apart from the one fucking material that has rotted and turned to bad death, it's off. What Versace's do you like then? None. Oh, no, actually, I don't think I do like any Versace's. I had Versace... Was it Versace Pour Homme? Which was the one from the fucking 70s or 80s? The one that you would think I would like, but I don't. Yes, but spot on, Mitch. Cheers, Tef Music. Don't be a stranger, Tef Music. Please pull up a pew, sit down, get your feet under the table. Enjoy L'Homme. Versace L'Homme. Well said. Thank you, Dev. Oh. It wouldn't be Creed without some controversy. I mean, I would swap the controversy for a fucking fragrance that hadn't turned to fuck. Not even Dreamer. Pour Homme. I don't like L'Homme. Don't like L'Homme. Gave it to Richie G. Me vintage, I had a vintage bottle, gave it to Richie G. Didn't like it. Something about it got up my nose. Strangely, would you believe? It's an unusual thing to say. Something about it I didn't like. The Dreamer, don't own it. Not a massive fan. Smells a bit... It's got that weird tobacco thing that tobacco sometimes does. That is... It gets a bit papery. You know? Astringent. I have Modern L'Homme, it's fine. Yeah. Versace is an E-level brand. I'd be struggling to put them at that level, to be honest. Have you smelled their new private collection? Shocking. 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 Not for me. They've got Oud Versace 1, Oud, the fucking Versace Oud Noir. Crap. Gave that away. I didn't even sell it, I just gave it away. Ashton says it smells like Oud Wood by Tom Ford. I don't say it. I've tried and I just don't say it. Alarm kind of lands in no man's land. Supposed to be a sheeper. It makes me tongue go numb. Sort of weird. Frank says it happens to creeds. I wonder what chem. It's a specific fucking ingredient they use to make fruity accords. Like give it the depth to the fruit. Because it's the black currant in Green Valley, it's the black currant in Silver Mountain Water, and it is in Millesime Imperial as well. This has got exactly the same thing. I would love to sell this. I'd get a fucking fortune for it. But it's off. Oh, it's not off. It's got that one fucking chemical that is just not right. And then you spray it in the air and it smells fucking magnificent like. And oh, there it is. What a roller coaster. Like, I've got fucking Royal Oud, which is amazing. Wore it the other day, it's beautiful. I've got original vetiver, which is fucking massively underrated, but costs too much for what it is. I've got Bois de Portugal, which is stunning. I've got Himalaya, which is massively underrated and I think is brilliant. But I think it's a spring and autumn fragrance. And I've got it's not dihydromerconal. Dihydromerconal? I don't know, it's dihydromerconal. Next time he's over, he's threatened to come over on a day trip to see us. So next time we do, I'll take the I will take the off Millesime to him and see what he says. Do you have Versace Man? No. Creed aren't bad generally, but the Creed mindset is generally unpleasant, absolutely. It's an unpleasant brand with unpleasant connotations. Ashton says, should be synonymous with don't listen to that. No, Ashton's alright. Ashton's the best of the big reviewers by far. I just wish he talked more about the stuff that he actually loves. You know? It wouldn't be Creed without some controversy, no. No, you're right. They got that, ooh, no, sorry, not really. Do you have Versace Man from Musky Citrus? I prefer over YSL Pour Homme. I don't like YSL Pour Homme. I sold my bottle. It's got something sharp about it. Something rough. Oud Wood was okay for that 50ml bottle. I don't care for getting another. Yeah. I don't like Bois de Portugal, just not my kind of smell, says Boz. Ooh, Tripler. I'm not sure I'm going to try and say that. It sounds like dihydral mercenol, says Tripler. I thought I might end up saying something outrageous there. Creed are fake as fuck. It's just it's one of them things that people, they go out and they either hug people or they smell, and then what they do is that they then say, oh, can you smell me aftershave, or can you smell me perfume? And then people say, oh yeah, it's nice, and they say, oh, it's a Creed. That's what it is. It's so people can say that that's what it is, rather than people ask what it is. They solicit for positive attention. That's what Creed is. I feel like Fragrance Apprentice is part of the big reviewers. George is definitely one of the big reviewers. George is one of the best reviewers. His videos in general are better than everyone else's as videos. His reviews are good. He's a good lad. I like George, and I think if George decides to go through another, or go to another path and do something, I think he'll be successful. You know, I'm looking forward to watching his documentary when I've got an hour. I imagine it'll be great. I caught a couple of minutes of it here and there last night, but I had a prior engagement at St James's Park. But I do want to go back. George's videos are the type of videos I will go back to watch. Do you know what I mean? I will go out of my way. They don't just appear on the timeline and then disappear like fodder. The Lupe Experience is one of my personal favourite reviewers, says Spaced Out. I've heard of the Lupe Experience, but I can't bring them to mind. Nobody ever talks about Virgin Island water here. Do you people hate fun? Erolfa is great, says Tev Music. I'll tell you something, Erolfa is great. It's fucking fabulous on other people. As soon as a fucking particle of that stuff touches my skin, it smells like fucking, I've been doused in bleach. It smells awful on me. And it's obviously my skin chemistry. You're going to smell it on other people. It smells awesome. Alright. When I smell it on myself, it smells foul. And it's the same thing with Paul Monsieur by Creed. Absolutely fucking foul on me. It smells great on other people. Which is a shame. But, because I wanted to buy them. I'd have bought both of those fragrances. George and Chris both think they are some kind of stars, like they are too big for Fragcom, says Boz. Not sure about that. That Creed video Chris did was a horror off, and the other George was cringeworthy in my opinion, says Boz. I'll have you know, Mitch, my fodder is bloody A5 quality fodder. If you're going to be fodder, be the best fodder you can be, mate. Alan says, I quite like the one bottle I own by Creed, Royal Cedar. It is cedar as well. It is cedar, and I'll tell you the name of the ingredient if you want. It's this. It's what they used in Ostend's Impression Cedar Wood Heart, IFF LMR. It's exactly. It's done by IFF, and it's what's in here. If you ever get to smell this, by Ostend's. Here is the pure ingredient by itself. All right, what you called? Let's have a look at you. Preparation fragrance oil, Cedar Wood Heart, IFF LMR. That's what it's called. Cedar Wood Heart. It is royal oud. There's a little bit of like other stuff in there. A little bit, but that's what it is. Fuck me, it's fucking very, very, very striking. I actually quite like this, you know, this Impression Cedar Wood Heart. This is another one of the fragrances I bought from my first impressions. I have bought a few, just nothing compared to the amount that I've tried. Oh, excuse me whilst I hydrate. And I liked Chris before that, but I felt he kind of sold out in that video, became a Creed agent. Don't meet the people who own brands and shit like that. I try to stay away from fucking... I mean, I remember when I was doing the Eris Parfums and Barbara Herrmann got in touch with us, and I was like, I think she was lovely. She never told us to say or do or offered us anything for free or anything like that. And she was like, look, can I just share what you're saying on fucking Insta? And I was like, yeah, you don't even have to ask. I mean, if you put a video out on the internet, you can't really fucking... I mean, you've got to know that it'll get shared. So, I mean, fair play to her for asking, but she didn't need to. But I just fucking, I mean, the well has been so poisoned by influencers that you just can't even do that now without being accused, and I won't be accused. Guerlain Louis has a nice natural cedar that makes up the leather accord, says Triplet. I've got Louis, the male one. Or the one in the black bottle, sorry. Rich opinion of Dior on Parfum. Hated it. I sold mine. I actually sold mine to fucking Peter Corcoran. At cost. I fucking did not like Dior on Parfum. Stodgy. It's probably the best word I find for it. Peter really liked it. Fair play to him. Knock yourself out, mate. Influencers equals salespeople, says Peter. Yeah, exactly. Influencers are just salespeople. It's like, I just don't patronise us. Just say what you are. You know what I mean? Don't fucking try and pretend you're cool. Don't try and pretend you're my friend. You aren't. Stop saying things are good when you don't actually think they are. Fuck off. I don't like being patronised. Testing my samples of Hermes Heris in the new Black Cat bottle, which is kind of meh. I want the vintage purple bottle. I fucking love that bottle. Ah, it's fucking great. This has got a touch of Heris about it. It's called Oris Tattoo. Absolutely, it's got a touch of Heris about it. Vintage Heris as well, sticks around. It's quite nice, that, actually. Very plain and not bland, but fucking plain. You know? It's good fragrance. I found Dior on Parfum too strong and annoying. Yeah, it was, I just shite. It's the most overhyped, overrated fragrance that there's been. I mean, I don't understand. Like, I literally don't understand why people think that that's as good as it is. The leather note in it's far too much. It's stodgy. It feels like a sticky shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good. It's too thick. Didn't like it. I thought it was one of Demaché's failures. He's usually really good at flankers, to be fair, if we're being serious. He's usually really good at flankers. Fahrenheit Absolute, brilliant. Eau Sauvage Parfum, brilliant. Dior Homme, no, he didn't do Dior Homme Intense. Not the original, anyway. Which I have. Rich opinion of Dior on Parfum. Oh, sorry. £99 in the airport if you want to buy it and resell it for 2-3 times the money. Knock yourself out. The influencers being dodgy about it is what really irks me. People like Brian who play it straight are good eggs in my opinion. I don't know who Brian is. Thanks, Tripler. I found Dior on Parfum too strong. 3 of my Creed fragrances are so off they are unwearable. Imperial, Mirror Same, Spring Flower and Silver Mountain Water. Won an eBay auction and bought myself a bottle of vintage Christian Dior Dune Pour Homme for €21. That's a fucking bargain. There's nothing better than a bargain. Well done, Robin. I'd be doing cartwheel, if I could. I'd be doing, Brian as in knows, no notes, Rich. Brian's sound. I haven't seen Brian for a while. But I just fundamentally disagree with the whole getting shit for free. It affects your fucking opinion. It does. It does. To say it doesn't is ludicrous. Of course it does. You lose a massive part of the fucking context of the fragrance, the price. You don't feel the hit. You know what I mean? You don't feel the power of losing that money, of handing, like literally the most essential part of the exchange is when you give the money and they give the perfume. It's fucking fundamental. And they circumvent it. Not Brian I'm talking about. I'm talking about brands circumvent that and get their fucking poison out. Oh, I got to see that folded man video. Yeah, that's the same condition. I've got ankylosing spondylitis. It's not very fun. I've got treatment for it though, so mine's as damaged as it's going to get, hopefully, or at least slowed down sufficiently to the point where I'm not going to end up bending in half. But anyway, he's got a really bad fucking type of it as well. Anyway, yeah, the circumvent, they use free bottles for review as a way to circumvent the whole advertising and the fidelity of the reviews. The reviews, the videos, when there's a free bottle involved, aren't worth the fucking oxygen used to make the videos, in my opinion. It's fucking bonkers. That is my opinion, and I am sticking to it. I know I bang my head. I know I bang the drum, and I keep going over the same shit over and over again because it's still true. Sartorial is better every time I wear it. I just don't know if it's me or the juice that's changing. A bit of both, probably. More oxygen you get in that bottle, the more it's going to open up, as they say. But it is fabulous. It is fucking fabulous. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's got a bit of everything. This is Douche Authority's best. Which is ironic because it's sitting on top of a bottle of Timbuktu, which I don't think is Douche Authority's best. My vintage Millésime Imperial starting to turn a rise. Depressing, says Frank. It's also one of my early frags that got me into the hobby. That's sad. Birchwood, that's sad. There is a leaning tower of Loewe ascends. Yeah, watch out, mate. And it's all right. It's actually very stable. It's leaning against an incredibly stable structure in Terre de Hermes. I'm just going to put Jazz back down there because that's where. So how did it go with your Argos set, mate? Can we see the final verdict? Oh, mate, that's like at the bottom of the pile, that, mate. It'll be months before I get to that. I've got to get through these Anna's Warinkinas first. Now, I got these last week, and the reason I wanted to do them is because they're only a mil, right? And I feared evaporation, so I was like, fuck this. I've paid £100, over £100 for this sample set. They're getting straight in, and I'm going to use them straight away, but I'm holding them to an extreme standard. And frankly, so far, they've come nowhere near, if you want the truth, but the prices that they want. Now, if I'd got these for free, if I'd got bottles of, and Anna's Warinkina I don't think gives out free bottles, I don't know. But if I'd got these for free, right, my opinion of these fragrances would be different. Because I wouldn't be outraged at the fact that I'm paying £10 a fucking mil. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't feel it the same way. You couldn't speak with that kind of fucking conviction that I've got. Other reviewers might say in their fucking videos that, no, that's not true. But if they were speaking to me and not just into thin air, if there was somebody to actually push back against them when they said these things, they wouldn't be saying it. Not as well. Can I just quickly ask the collective, Gallivant, decent or shite, says Peter. This is the last question of the evening because it's 10 o'clock and I want to go to bed. Peter? Tell Peter. Gallivant, decent or shite? Is it decent? Is it shite? I wonder what the older bottle of that smelled like. The older bottle of what? I need to restock Italian Cyprus. You fucker. You'll pay for that, mate. I need to restock loads of stuff, but I can't be fucking putting my hand in my pocket for that. I still fucking owe fucking a news for a fucking haul I got a month or two ago. I don't know, man. Good night, everyone. See you later, Dev. I will watch your video, your Azaro Porom video. I might stick that on quickly before I go to sleep, before I go to bed even. Sorry for sniffling on tonight, people. The fucking pollen's been outrageous here the last few weeks, like. It's not worth the money after you try Cipresso Colonia, Rosandia, and Colonia Mirror are my favourites from Aqua de Palma. Take care. Is nobody going to answer Peter's question? Gallivant? Does anybody know anything about Gallivant? Or are we all gallivanting off early? Excuse me whilst I hydrate. All of a sudden I fancy a biscuit. I might have a ginger snap. Good night, Triple Up. Well, it seems that everybody has fucking not spoken. Sorry, Peter. I did ask. Nobody has said. Well, Pontabone says, fucking, I went to a masterclass for Gallivant, got all their samples, didn't try all of them. The ones I did try, I didn't like. That is the last word, friends. I am going. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. Keeping me company on this Tuesday night, this sweaty Tuesday night. The fan will be staying on overnight, I can tell you that. It's far too fucking warm in here. Cheers all. I will see you all again soon. Good night.